குறைந்த விலை, நிறைந்த தரம், தங்கள் தேவைகள் அனைத்தும் ஒரே இடத்தில். ஜெயச்சந்திரன்.
36 வருட அனுபவம், 23 கிளைகள் கொண்ட சுற்றுலா நிறுவனம் ஸ்ரீ முருகன் டிராவல் ஏஜென்சி. தொடர்புக்கு ஸ்ரீமுருகன்டிராவல்.com.
சென்னையில் நடைபெறும் உலக முதலீட்டாளர்கள் மாநாடு ஜனவரி 7 மற்றும் 8 அன்று நடைபெறுகிறது. அனைவரும் வருக.
We are broadly in the process of coming up with some incentive and support policies in the overall IT space, and certainly as the IT&T CEO mentioned around specific areas like AI. Our overall water utilization is very, very inefficient. Even if you take advanced countries, the amount of recycling they do and the amount of kind of, multi-use, multi-reuse, we don't do much of that at all.
So, is Tamil Nadu government taking any proactive measures? There are some instances of small startups leveraging. Also, there are challenges, concerns raised by the technologists. They say that the inscription or the way the Tamil is in the internet, it is not easily be encoded into this machine language algorithms or what you call that in tokens. So, is Tamil Nadu government working on any of these areas?
Yeah, I think we are broadly in the process of coming up with some incentive and support policies in the IT overall IT space, and certainly as the IT&T CEO mentioned around specific areas like AI. Hopefully sooner rather than later. I must confess that the previous IT policy, which has been around for 5 or 6 years, 5 years, has not had any takers. So something is clearly wrong in the way that our incentive policies were set up, despite the fact that we have seen phenomenal growth. As many of you know, last year Chennai's office uptake was double the annual average of the last few years before that. So something is a bit off in the way we are setting up these policies. We'll figure out. But in the case of AI companies, I think really it's about access to data, access to computing power, and then the basics of anybody else, to have a startup space, to have power, to have decent infrastructure. The second question I think is a bit more complex. Already there's an issue. Tamil Nadu was one of the early members in the UU Code consortium, and we had been moving to come up with all the Tamil text to be machine readable and translatable because of being compliant with UU Code for various reasons. I don't want to talk politically here, but for various reasons that was not quite done, and a lot of proprietary codes were used and proprietary fonts were used, and so we have a lot of problems, at least with government content, that needs to be fixed. But there's a very clear solution, right? If they're all universal code, they can be translated easily and machine read easily, and the machine learning can be programmed easily. So the more we move towards the standard code fonts, then I think we'll be better off. We had to do that for other reasons anyway. We'll probably push even harder now for these reasons.
Hello, sir. Sir, here on your left.
That will be the last question.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm sophisticated enough to answer a lot of questions. Why don't we get the experts here? So anyway.
Yes, sir, last question. I'll keep it short. Yeah. First of all, big fan. And we've read about how OpenAI uses a lot of water in its data centers. So if India were to develop one of its own, and given the water shortages in the country, and especially in a state like Tamil Nadu, where we have faced a lot of water problems and like water-based disasters, how would the government go about handling those kind of situations?
Yeah, I'm not sure that AI data centers are going to consume a lot more water than generic data centers. Maybe I'm not well informed, but I think we have a broader problem, which is, and I'll just take a crack at this without enough real depth. One is that data center power and water supply in general, I think, needs to be looked at both from clean energy as well as our overall water utilization is very, very inefficient. Even if you take advanced countries, the amount of recycling they do and the amount of multi-use, multi-reuse, we don't do much of that at all. So our long-term solution has to be not that there's shortage of water, as many of you can tell, is that we don't store it, we don't recycle it, So we got a structural problem. I'm not sure it's unique for data centers. Data centers, I think, is more important to us for other reasons. But I think The cooling technology also is changing quite a bit. I've started to see a lot more air-cooled rather than water-cooled, and there's some, efficiencies in the design. So I think the broader perspective, at least from Government of Tamil Nadu's view, is that we want renewable energy and reusable cooling systems with a lot of recycling cooling systems, and that will be true for data centers as much as it's true for any other purpose. And certainly I don't think we have a separate policy for AI data centers compared to data centers in general.
Hi, I'm Gopi Balasubramaniam. I'm a CEO of a German startup working on quantum computation. My question is, quantum computing is a deep tech technology, and as you know, Europe and other Western countries have export regulations and restrictions. How does India and Tamil Nadu plan to tackle this in this context? Thank you.
I can only give you one instance because I don't know about India. Actually, I can say two things. One, the government of India has sponsored two quantum computing centers. I'm not sure that's actually buying computing power, but maybe to innovate around quantum computing. One has already been allocated to the Northeast. I'm in talks with the government of India to get the other one allocated to Tamil Nadu. Hopefully they will. It's a natural, logical choice, but we will never know. The other aspect is that one of the countries that does particularly well in building quantum computers, as you may know, is Finland, because of their old engineering prowess and so forth. So actually we are in discussions with them for a few months now. Hopefully we'll accelerate those to see if we can procure one from Finland and use that to create some space for startups in the utilization of that, and see how we can benefit the ecosystem with that.
Thank you.
Hi sir, such a pleasure seeing you today. I'm Samir Kudur from the US India Business Council. My question to you is, as you know, India today holds the presidency for the Global Partnership on AI. So how big is the role of the states in discussions around GPA presidency? And what are the things as far as regional languages is concerned that you can perhaps put across to the central government in order to incorporate these ideas?
I must confess that we have at least not officially had any interaction yet with the government of India, so it's news to me. What you're telling me is news to me. Of course, we have some of our very fine officers now serving in Delhi, and among others, my old finance secretary, Mr. Krishnan, is the MeitY secretary. So we'll follow up with him. I don't have any insight yet. But I will say that part of the issue with regional languages is that the data set and the existing engines in English are so far advanced that it's going to take a bit of work for us. We have lots of people, we have a lot of history of the language, we have lots of data as a government, but to get all these into a digitized, machine learnable, and in many cases voice learnable format is probably going to be one of the big manual tasks, and then even that some can be automated. I've been looking at technologies for that, but to create those data sets will be the basis for getting that level of sophistication that now exists in English into the regional languages, and it's our job to do that because we all want to preserve our mother tongue and our language.
குறைந்த விலை நிறைந்த தரம் தங்கள் தேவைகள் அனைத்தும் ஒரே இடத்தில் ஜெயச்சந்திரன்
36 வருட அனுபவம் 23 கிளைகள் கொண்ட சுற்றுலா நிறுவனம் ஸ்ரீ முருகன் டிராவல் ஏஜென்சி. தொடர்புக்கு srimurugantravel.com.
சென்னையில் நடைபெறும் உலக முதலீட்டாளர்கள் மாநாடு ஜனவரி 7 மற்றும் 8 அன்று நடைபெறுகிறது. அனைவரும் வருக.